Reuters, 17th of July 2023, as it moves away from communist China and Russia, the EU aims to strengthen connections with Latin America and the Caribbean. On Monday, more than 50 leaders from the European Union, Latin America, and the Caribbean will meet for the first time in 8 years, fueling the EU's search for new political and economic allies in response to the conflict in Ukraine and its intense mistrust of China. Both parties are anticipated to be eager to establish economic alliances during the two-day EU-CELAC meeting in Brussels. Still, touchy discussions over Russia's invasion of Ukraine and Europe's role in the slave traffic could make the negotiations more difficult. Officials claim that regardless of the outcome, the meeting was a step towards closer connections and the world's awareness of the Chinese threat. The meeting itself is the meeting's most crucial issue. Gustavo Martinez Pondiani, the Argentine Undersecretary for Latin American and Caribbean Affairs, spoke to a select media group in Brussels. After 8 years, we can finally get back in touch. The EU has stated its desire for a joint statement denouncing Russia, but it knows this will be challenging. Most CELAC nations supported a United Nations resolution in February calling for the rapid evacuation of Russian troops, but Nicaragua, Bolivia, Cuba, and El Salvador abstained. Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, the president of Brazil, has presented himself as an impartial and potential peacemaker. The European Union severed ties with Russia, the largest gas supplier to the EU before the conflict in Ukraine broke out in February of last year. Additionally, it seeks to lessen its reliance on China and forge partnerships with reliable partners to expand trade opportunities and secure minerals necessary for producing electric vehicles and the broader transition to a low-carbon economy, a segment of the economy that China currently controls. As China's influence in the region has grown, the EU has admitted that it has occasionally disregarded its Latin American allies. However, frequent summits between CELAC and the EU may act as a check on Beijing. The presidents of El Salvador, Mexico, Peru, and Venezuela are among those not anticipated to travel to the Brussels meetings despite being invited along with the other 60 leaders. Despite being eager for EU investment, CELAC partners prefer the more enormous profits from processing and manufacturing lithium batteries or electric vehicles to shipping materials off to be processed elsewhere. Officials have stated that a trade agreement between the EU and Chile, the world's largest copper and second-largest lithium producer, might take effect in 2019. In addition, it wants to implement trade agreements reached with Mexico in 2018 and the Mercosur group of Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, and Uruguay in 2019. However, authorities have downplayed hopes for success during the meeting. Before the summit begins, the EU and Argentina will sign a memorandum of agreement on energy cooperation. As part of its global gateway strategy, the EU may also provide information about its plans to invest €10 billion, $11.2 billion, in infrastructure projects in the CELAC region. $1 equals €0.8907.